Hi, Alexandria area residents and guests. I'm Ellen Repke, Inform TV, Box 333, Alexandria, Minnesota. And today I want to give you option 2 for a hotel that will serve both downtown as well as our expanding RCC, where our hockey complex is, as well as the fairgrounds and the racetrack, and be a big boost to all the businesses downtown on Broadway in Alexandria, including the boat park, or the Legacy Boat Museum, the Memorial Park for our veterans, and all the Broadway businesses. Well, Alexandria, this 9th day of August 2024, I want to show you my second option for a hotel that serves both downtown Alexandria as well as the fairgrounds, the racetrack, and the expanding RCC, which is where 2 sheets of ice are situated, and they're trying to get enough money to someday build a 3rd sheet there. But anyway, here, if you can see my outdated pointer here, here's where I want it. You should all be able to recognize Knute Nelson Field. Here's Winona Pond. Here's that island where you'll see various birds, and there's geese and ducks here. People feed all year round. But this particular block between 5th Avenue West and 4th Avenue West, including the ALP facility there, the office complex, as well as their shop, a couple of their warehouse buildings, going right up to right here where the generator with 3 big diesel motors provides Missouri River backup energy when it needs electricity, I should say energy. But it's pretty easy, I think, for you guys to understand. Broadway is right here. You turn on 3rd Avenue. Right here is the new ruins, the apartment buildings. Right over here on the top is Legacy of the Lakes Museum. Right a little further up is Big Ole, and down here a ways is the Memorial Park for our veterans. And this is a road that leads to the RCC and our fairgrounds and racetrack. So here's your assignment. Drive around here, go in as if you're going to pay a bill at ALP, and just drive down here and drive out and drive around there. That location, people, all those houses in there, the newest ones were built in the early 1900s. I mean, just by a few years. Others in this location, there's 10 houses there and some old garages, and they were built in the 1800s. And so it's time to do true urban development in Alexandria. And there's no better time to do it when ALP is pulling out, because they're saying they got snakes and mice and whatever else in their old outdated office. This stuff could either be moved or used. There's a red brick building here. There's a galvanized shed here. Here's our fire department. It won't bother them a bit. They got easy access to get wherever they want. They even got a back access. And so if we look at this area, it's about 5 acres. Just think if this was a hotel right here overlooking Knute Nelson Field, our field of dreams. And yet at the same time, it's a short walking distance to our RCC, racetrack, and fairgrounds. Take a look and drive this area. That's your assignment this weekend from Alan Repke, Inform TV. And get him back on the air so I can show you a lot more. And we'll go all the way over to the brick building there across the lake, everything south of that we want to keep for potential high rise in the future, or the citizens pick which one they want first. Now, whether that outdated substation there needs to be kept, I think Mike Weber said, or Ted said something about the type of power that we generate out of the brick building there you're looking at with 3 big diesel motors, needs something different to put the power in the system. But definitely this whole silver shed here, as well as that building right next to Knute Nelson Field, can either be utilized as meeting rooms for this hotel, or storage, or whatever. You can see, looks pretty good yet. I would think we could get that building moved out of there and just think all the parking we'd have and not have to worry about pervious area for water. There's already concrete here, or tar. You see how it overlooks Knute Nelson Field? See how easy a walk it would be to St. Mary's Church for guests wanting to attend church, as well as Calvary Lutheran. Just, what is it, 2 blocks up there? And yes, citizens of Ward 5, as well as all of Alexandria, I want you to drive through the alley as well, so you can see this would be the prime block to eliminate as far as true urban development that would serve both the RCC as well as downtown. Big Ole, the Boat Museum, the Memorial Park, and all the Broadway businesses. Nothing fancy here. And you see we've got a street here, 4th Avenue, and we have a building that a plan has already been approved by the work session, and I believe the main session of City Hall that I filmed, and that shop can easily be moved out of there or used for the convention center that I'm talking about. And see how close we are to Knute Nelson Field, and we'll also get a nice look at Winona Pond and all the birds that use it, that nookery there, both geese, ducks, and whatever imaginable bird you can come across. I want all the people in Ward 5 in the city of Alexandria to just drive through here and be very respectful of neighbors. Don't pester them, just drive through so you get a vision of what Alan Repke Inform TV is talking about. Just trying to do a slow pan here to give you an idea of what's here. Going through the alley. Easily drop the Hampton Inn in here with probably 2 or 3 or 4 stories higher. The reality is this urban development area here needs to be tapped before somebody decides to add to one of these old houses. And I think the land area here right now, with our very able-bodied assessor, Reed, is $461,000. Are you guys homeowners here or just renters? Homeowners. Which house do you guys own? Okay, real good. You like the location? Or you wish you had a different spot?
Yeah, be a little quieter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And so I'm thinking of utilizing this whole city block for a better use.
All right, good.
Yet take care of you people that are true homeowners. But I think most of the people in this block are just renters, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. You don't mind I put your good-looking faces in my camera, do you? Have a great Sunday, folks. So one homeowner would be happy to be bought out, and we'll get him a nice house and some profit. On having a home here in the old part of town that is definitely due for some improvements, and a prime spot for urban development. Alpine. Well, folks, we're going to look at one of the fine lake properties here, right downtown as well, right next to the Legacy Lake Boat Museum and their backyard that I'm going to film this morning as well in my expedition. But I found this young man who said he'd be kind enough to talk to the camera, and what he has found on what they call North Pond here of the far north end of polluted Winona Lake. Sir, introduce yourself and tell us what you know.
I'm Mike Moore, and my wife and I own this place. She's the fourth generation of what we call a legacy home here. In this whole area, there's 12 houses down through here.
Okay.
And these houses were built in 1902, 1905, and this is the last one remaining. So she's the fourth generation with that.
Wonderful.
So I've been up here over 55 years now, coming back from the cities, and every year. Now we live here for 4 or 5 months out of the year.
Okay.
So totally enjoy Alec.
Amen to that.
Yeah, you wanted to know about the North Pond here. A few years ago, I was able to get on there and kind of map out what's in that pond. And what we found is my son and I did it from where the police department is, right down the center over to the depot here, is the deepest of the whole thing. And it was measuring 5 feet deep.
Okay.
And it was only about 20 feet wide.
Okay, that was 5 feet. Was the rest shallower then?
Well, in the center, it's 5 feet for about 20 feet. However, we had a long pole. If I pushed real hard, we probably had another couple feet of settlement. Sure. In that thing. And then from there out, another 30 feet on both sides of that channel is 4 foot.
Okay.
And then from there, it's all 3 feet all the way around the cattails and all that. From the shoreline, maybe out 60 feet, whatever, is only 3 feet deep.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to put hip boots on, or is it so mucky that you'd sink to your chest?
Actually, years ago, we pulled a lot of cattails out, and you can see over by the dock, there's cattails. I'd like to get in there and get those cattails out so we can see this.
Yeah.
And the lady here, my wife Katie, won't let me in that cesspool anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. You know, the Seine River in France, you know, they wouldn't let swimmers in there.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got our own Seine River here in Alexandria called Winona Lake.
Right.
And the Winona Pond and North Pond now.
Yeah.
And from a standpoint, I'm just going to turn here quick. You've been a wonderful resource for our community to talk to Inform TV a little bit.
And then,
just a second. I want to turn back so I catch your voice. Okay?
And then the only thing that we see in here is very large carp that's getting bigger and bigger.
That's what I was wondering.
That's a lot of big carp in this.
How big a carp have you caught any, or just seen?
No,
them?
we've seen it. A couple people want to come down and bow fish for the carp. We said, go ahead, take all you want. But
it's too dirty for them to see much, though, isn't it?
Well, they're right up in the shoreline.
Okay.
With that, but they, yeah, there's a lot of carp in here.
See, with the new gate, I don't think they can get into Agnes and Henry anymore.
No, I understand this.
So that's why they're getting so big.
Yeah. And then the pelicans will show up. Well, they're not showing up over the past several years. There are a lot of them out here. This year and the past few years, less pelicans because they come in there and clean out all the bullheads or whatever it's in there.
Sure.
And so what's left is what you see, a dirty, mucky thing. And we can't figure out what the city's doing when all the water's flowing down through here into Agnes, into Henry, all the way down to the chain of lakes there.
And we're dumping purified water on the south end into a dirty, polluted lake. It's polluted both by nature as well as historically by the city, because I think originally the city dumped raw sewage into Winona.
Yeah, and even I understand the stormwater problem coming down, and they made some ponds, retention ponds and everything, and that pond over here next to the gardens here is dry all the time. So it's not doing a darn thing for filtration coming into this side of the North Pond with that. So they, we've been promised for years that, we're going to clean it up. Well, here it is 50 years later and nothing's happened.
I agree. I'm working, I'm running for City Council, Ward 5, so if somehow I get elected on the primary and the 13th of August and then November, it'll be a top priority for me. But I'm doing this just as a responsible citizen today, not a would-be politician. I'm a leader. I would never become a politician. And anyway, anything else? You've been very kind with your time, and that you would like the citizens to know, or elected officials to know, of your experience here, being fourth generation. And you said 12 houses were here originally?
This is the 12. There's my wife here. Come here. Was there 10 or 12? This is a great-granddaughter, Katie Moore.
Oh, wonderful.
So there was houses all along. It was just like a block. It was a city block. And through the years, then they just families
gave it up to
the city and that sort of thing. Well, we weren't going to give our property up to anybody because we have enough interest in our own family to just keep it right here. So so that's when the gardens came in, and Bruce Olson, he's a wonderful man. He was the one that kind of was the visionary behind this 15 years ago. But 15 years, and that's what we have now. So we're very happy with what it turned out to be.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah. And the joke is, a lot of people call us the neighbor because we're the only ones here. If you look around, the city owns the property, the gardens, the fire department, the police department.
We're surrounded.
We're surrounded by the city.
Big government in USA and Alexandria and Minnesota.
Right. We're good. We have great neighbors, and we love it now.
That's great.
And the city's always been great to us, so we have no bones with the city at all.
And ma'am, you went to high school in Alexandria?
No, I never went here at all. My mother was the class of 1932.
Okay.
And Mom and Dad would come up here. They had their place in Arizona in the winter, and then they would come up here in the summer. And now that we're retired, we're here all summer ourselves. But we have our house in the cities, and then we go away to warmer places in the winter. But
in the next generation,
our next generation, all our kids, grandkids, everybody comes here.
Oh, wonderful!
This is the gathering place for our family.
And that's why we call it the legacy home, for the fact that the next generations, and they're
already starting showing interest in little things that they want to do, and
that is terrific to hear.
The grandkids love it.
So if we can enhance this somehow, it'd be great.
Yeah,
it's a top priority for me. So
this is pretty bad, but we refer to this as Mini Winnie now.
Oh, okay.
It's not Winona, it's Mini Winnie. This is our Mini Winnie.
Okay, that's great to know. Yeah. And anything else you want to tell the camera yet?
No,
it's been a pleasure, and I'm glad to see your wood duck house there. I don't know if you ever get any, but
this is just the second year here, so we didn't get any the first year, but maybe it takes a couple years.
But
the martins, oh my gosh, we have a bevy of martins.
And you can see
they're gone now. They're already gone.
See our goose defense.
Yes, I saw that. I'll duck down quick and
for some reason it works.
It does work. some people in the lakes here I filmed that have bells on them, but there's various ways to keep them out, and
That's right.
it's been a pleasure to talk to you folks. Once again, mention your names.
I'm Mike, and this is my wife, Katie Moore.
Okay.
Yep.
And this was the Bowers house.
And your house here, did your family build it in 1905 or what year?
1902.
1902. They
Yes.
built it.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful.
Yep.
So, yep, we've kept it up the best we can.
Yep.
You're-
But it was the Bowers house, and before that it was the Lies. So
You know,
over on the, just a minute, over on the fireman's wall over there, you'll see Peter Lye, and you'll see
1917.
P.B. Bowers. That was my grandfather. He was the longest standing fire chief here in Alec.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
So there is a lot of history of our family here in Alec.
Some of our friends that we have out in Carlos and Lake Mary and Ida, they're jealous of us for the fact that we can walk to the restaurants in Alec
Yes.
and enjoy all this stuff, and the concerts and the gardens next door is beautiful. But this one here, Katie, I want to walk out and get in the water and go
I want to
swimming.
get in the boat and go. But-
See, I filmed the
Yeah.
sewer district, and I told them I want this lake dredged,
Yes.
and so it's a lake.
I can't
and-
imagine what you'll find in there. Woo,
Yes,
that'd be
exactly.
bad.
I'm working on it, so we do find out fairly soon,
Yeah.
folks.
Good.
And I'll just tell you guys right now, until I get this film out, I want to take the full city block there east of the ball field
Yep.
and make that a hotel
Oh boy.
to serve both the RCC as well as downtown.
That sure makes sense.
Yeah.
That sure makes sense.
Because those old houses, you know, that they had a tragic fire in one of those old fire traps, and a young gal died a few years ago that I think was going to the college. So I want that to be our urban development that serves both the fairgrounds, the racetrack, as well as expanding RCC,
Yeah. Yeah.
as well as downtown, of course.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Once again, repeat
All
your
right.
name, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time to talk to me this August 4th.
I'm Mike,
Katie Moore.
and Mike and Katie Moore.
Mike and Katie
You're a
Moore.
wonderful addition to our community, and we
Thank
thank you for your history.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, this August 4th, we're going to do a little more belly cam and kind of show you the gardens here, and on the north side of Legacy Lakes Museum and their boat show. I just had a wonderful conversation with the family over there that their family has owned that property for 4 generations. So I look forward to popping this in as well. See some of the beautiful flowers that are here, as well as trees and shrubs. It is one great place for some music events that I think they have 4 or 5 a year here under the canvas there. There was a great presentation by the University of Minnesota coaches the one year that I filmed here, and so I'm just trying to show you, if we put that hotel on, eliminate that block between Elm and Fillmore, look at how easy a walk that would be to utilize this wonderful facility of people that had some visions here and may hate my guts, but I commend them for doing that and to utilize this site as a wonderful place to show not just Alexandria, but the greatness of the state of Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. We've got a falls right over here that I want to show you. We have a spot there that they use as a bar. they have large gatherings. And they've made a little waterfall here. I know I'm walking wrong, but I've been on my feet so long now, I'm tuckered out. As a super old timer. See, wouldn't this be a must-see when we put the Informed TV, Alan Repke Hotel there, right on the east side of Knutson Field, as well as where ALP is pulling out of. Just a wonderful spot here. Wonderful garden. Wonderful trees and shrubs. And now you can see when they have concerts here, I don't know, 4 to 6 times a year, they put them under that top there. Alan Repke reporting this August 4th, 2024. An interesting sign here someone put together showing the mileage and the direction for a lot of key cities, that when we stop the nonsense that City Hall has going on with that 57,000 square foot building that should be kept airport, as well as the tech building there that the high school had and lobbied against me just a few months ago when I showed what the airport could be to the senior lions at the senior center, and now all of a sudden they're pulling out and bringing another specialized school in there. That is just not called for. That's airport property, and we have to keep it airport property, and then we can fly people in from these locations from time to time as well. Now I'm going to walk over here. We talked to the neighbors, and now I want to show you how that was private property that I was lucky enough to have those fine people talk to me, and now we can come and stand and see. When he was talking about all the big carp in here, why aren't we putting a dock out here for people to fish for those big carp or whatever? There's actually the full range of fish in this lake, but they tend to be small because it's shallow and they follow the flowage out. But now with the carp trap just across the walking trail, we may be trapping some large northerns and large walleyes and large bass in Lake Winona as well. If we can just wake the sewer district up to follow my suggestion when I filmed their meeting, that we dredge it or drain it temporarily and get some of the silt and fill in off the bottom. But you can see how polluted we are. Why are we, or the state of Minnesota, allowing us to properly process wastewater and then dump it into a polluted lake in the land of 10,000 lakes? It's a disgrace that I hope you help me jack those people up and get something done. If we can't get it done with City Hall or the Douglas County Commissioners or the Chamber of Commerce or District 206 or our tech school, we go directly and jack up our 4 Republican legislators to get something done about Lake Winona in St. Paul, or Fishbach and Emmer on a federal basis.
This program was produced and filmed by Alan Repke, Inform TV, Box 333, Alexandria, Minnesota.